Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Richard Moglin, and welcome to this week's weekly watch list. So make sure during this upcoming trading week and throughout the next couple weeks as well that you're paying attention to the upcoming earnings, because you don't want to be caught off guard and have a drop of 10% in one day just because you didn't check that before making a trade. That being said, here are the stocks I'm going to be paying attention to in the upcoming week. So we've got a lot of carryovers from the past watch list on 1013. But there are a couple new ones: INS, RNG, SAFE, SPNS, and VST. Let's quickly go through the charts and kind of look at how they are doing on both a daily and weekly time frame. So AWI, you can see, is forming kind of a saucer pattern here and has progressed well since this green dot. On the weekly chart, you can see it's moved up very quickly since the start of this year and then consolidated a bit as we saw in that saucer pattern. BLD, you can see on the daily chart, is doing very well after breaking through this green line and has now consolidated slightly and is about to form another green dot as well. And one quick thing about the green line, I know if you are a fan of Dr. Wish's blog, wishingwealthblog.com, you see these lines all over. And basically how you form them, and I have a whole video on this which you should definitely check out, it'll be linked above, but usually you have to go to the monthly chart, you have to scroll through the entire history of the stock and find the most recent green line, which is a new all-time high that then consolidates for at least 3 bars. And it's very time consuming to go through a lot of stocks at a time. You have to click this, look at the high, mark it down, make a new line, all that stuff. So to automate the process, I actually recently wrote a quick Python script that basically uses stock data from Yahoo Finance to then calculate the green line automatically. So running this real quick from the command prompt, you can see that if I enter any stock, let's do the one I was just looking at, which was BLD, you can see that very quickly it automatically returns at the last green line value and at the last closing price. And those are correct. It is 87.21, and basically you can very quickly get a lot of stocks in a row. So if you're interested at all in this program, I will have a link to the Replit version of this program, which you can run and do the exact same thing. So Replit is just an online version of Python that allows you to run any program that's written in a different IDE. And at first, as you can see, it has to download a whole bunch of packages which make this program run. But after all those are downloaded, it will start the main loop. So as you can see, once it downloads everything it needs to, you can enter anything. Let's do KL. And it will return pretty quickly the last green line value. And once again, I highly recommend checking out that green line video. It's definitely very important and is a good kind of strategy while trading stocks. Looking now at Burlington, you can see that since the big jump on earnings, it's been kind of going sideways, and you can see the exact same thing on the weekly chart. Looking at CLCT, you can see that on a daily chart, it's been doing very well and now has a short kind of flat base forming right here. CPRT has been doing extremely well since the start of this year, and since this huge gap up on a lot of volume, you can see similar amounts of big volume when the stock dips a bit, so definitely it's being accumulated. Edward Life Sciences, you can see, is in the middle of a flat base right here and actually tried to break out 1 bar ago last Thursday, but then fell right back into the base. So definitely you want to wait and see it kind of form a good breakout again before entering this stock. FCN has an almost identical pattern to Edward Life Sciences. It had a breakout, then a fall back into the base on high volume. So I'm not particularly jazzed about this stock, and it really has to prove itself again and form a solid base and then a good breakout. Looking at one of the new stocks, INS, you can see that it's been consolidating a lot near all-time highs and is a very strong stock. You can see that at this green dot here, it increased 100% in just 2 months, and definitely needs some time to consolidate that move, but it's very close to a green dot and actually had a Bollinger bounce today and yesterday. So definitely one to watch, and it could move up very quickly. IFI, as you can see, is also consolidating near all-time highs and is right now along the bottom of this Darvas box right here. So I'm looking for a bounce off the lower Bollinger Band up towards the top of this box once again. So this could be a good idea for a quick swing trade after a green dot from a very oversold position. JBL, you can see, is in the middle of a flat base and is kind of drifting slowly upward on not that much volume at all. So this could be one that if it has a really good day and really breaks out on large volume, I would open a position. LSCC, the lattice semiconductor stock, you can see is forming a sideways consolidation right here and is looking to bounce off this lower Bollinger Band, which is identified by this blue dot right here, and also will have a green dot in the next couple of days if it keeps moving up. So definitely one to watch, and it could keep on going and break out of this kind of sideways action here. PRFT, you can see, is also kind of in the middle of this sideways movement right here, and you want to see a breakout on volume over this point right here, which was a resistance level up here. RNG, you can see, had a green dot on this last Friday and is kind of really close to the lower Bollinger Band, so we could see a bounce off of that as well. But look to see it kind of keep on going, and if it breaks out of this level right here, that's a very promising sign. SAFE, you can see, is near all-time highs, as all these stocks are, and is in this middle of this sideways consolidation. And this past bar, you can see it really dropped very quickly below the lower Bollinger Band. So look to see a bounce off of that in the next couple days. And if it does, I think this could definitely go quite a bit higher. Looking at SPNS, you can see it's been consolidating near all-time highs and also had a green dot on this past Friday. And finally, taking a look at VST, you can see that just like the other ones, it's consolidating right near all-time highs and had a Bollinger Band squeeze in these past couple days. And hopefully it can continue to break out and really keep on going. So before we go ahead and look at the fundamentals of the new stocks, I just want to say one more time, make sure that you're checking the earnings dates of the stocks you are looking at currently, because you don't want to enter a stock without knowing that it could drop 10% the next day. So always be vigilant. So now that we've looked at the technicals, the charts of the new stocks, let's go ahead and take a look at the fundamentals. Quickly, before we do that though, you can see that INMD is the new leader on this list, and it's doing very well. And I'm actually going to be doing a stock spotlight video in the next couple days about this stock. So keep on the lookout for that, but do bear in mind that it does have earnings coming up in the next couple days. First, taking a look at INS, you can see it has a composite rating of 92, but has a very good relative strength rating of 99. Looking at its EPS, you can see it's been doing very well the past couple quarters. And taking a look at its sales, you can see that it had a 64% increase last quarter and an average over the past 2 quarters of 68%. So very good numbers in terms of earnings and sales. Its ROE is also excellent at 27.5%, but it is not on the IBD top 50. Next, looking at RNG, you can see it's number 17 on this list, and it has very good ratings from IBD. Looking at its earnings, you can see not too much to see here, but looking at sales, you can see that it's been increasing steadily, 34% and an average of 33% over the past 2 quarters. Its ROE is actually really good at 24.2%, but it is not on the IBD top 50 list. Next, looking at SPNS, you can see it is also highly ranked from investors.com, and looking at its earnings, they are very good with an average of about 30% and 46% the last quarter. Its sales numbers aren't quite as good, with an increase of 10% the last quarter and an average of 9.2% the quarter before that. Its return on equity is pretty decent at 14%, but it is not on the IBD top 50 list. And finally, looking at VST, it has a composite rating of 95 and an RS rating of 89, which are both pretty good. And its EPS change last quarter was excellent at 250%. And looking at its sales, you can see that last quarter increased 10%, and over the past 2 quarters, though, it increased 146.3%. Its return on equity, however, is not good at negative 0.8% and is not on the IBD top 50 list. So once again, here is my watch list for the upcoming week. Make sure you leave down in the comments below what stocks you are looking at for the next few days. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys in future videos.